Hey, Viewsters. Really quickly, I just want to tell you about a really great new wine subscription service. Join the Community Wine and Spirits monthly wine club, the Mutual Satisfaction Society. You'll receive 3 carefully selected bottles every month, complete with tasting notes and detailed information on each wine, all for only $90. Join in the next 24 hours and get 20% off your first shipment. Want fancier wine than that? They got you. Join the Mutual Satisfaction Society, plus, for extra satisfaction, $150 will get you 3 very special bottles of wine. Let them take the trouble out of selecting great wines that you will love. Your first shipment is 20% off just for listening to View the Right Thing. Join the community today at www.communitywineandspirits.com or DM them at CommunityWS.
It's the original high school musical. A 50s greaser and a girl meet at a beach during summer break. But when the break ends, they soon discover that they attend the same high school. Wes gets his pomade, and Alexis throws on her pink jacket to review the musical that catapulted John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John's careers to flying new heights in Grease on View the Right Thing.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of View the Right Thing. I'm Wes.
And I'm Alexis.
Hi, Alexis.
Hi, Wes.
How you doing?
I'm super. How are you?
Super.
Mm-hmm.
Great, I guess. I can't, after you say you're super, I can't be like, oh, I'm terrible.
You're allowed to feel however you want to feel.
Yeah. Things could be better, but things could be worse too. So
this is very true.
So take it in stride.
What's new?
Oh God, I wanted to ask you that, so I didn't have to try and answer this question. Nothing's new. Nothing's ever new. I'm boring and dull.
That's so untrue.
Well,
I don't think you're boring or dull.
You're a liar.
I'm a terrible liar, so.
Yeah, I know you're lying. I can tell you're lying. Had a nice day with you, though. But had some delicious salad.
Yeah. I love a good salad.
We made a salad, your request, so we had a salad.
Thank you.
Not much is going on in my world. I did see some trailers recently.
Nice.
Pretty excited for some.
Like
Anora, which it was a big winner at Cannes.
Oh,
yeah, and it's sort of about sex work and sort of not about sex work.
Okay. Is it a foreign film?
I don't know if it would be classified as foreign.
Okay.
It maybe it would be. It's got Mikey Madison in it, who was in Scream 5, I think. It's like a pretty young director by the name of Sean Baker.
Okay.
I don't know if you've seen The Florida Project.
I have not.
Okay, but you know of The Florida Project.
No.
Okay, big Academy Award nominated film from a few years ago. Also did Tangerine.
Oh, okay.
And one of my favorites, which we actually covered years and years ago, called Starlet. That we covered we did a bunch of movies for AFI Fest. And that was one of our movies.
Oh, cool.
And that's a fantastic film, also about sex work.
Wow.
So he tends to do stories about sort of people who have sort of negative connotation, negative views from society about them, and tries to tell just like really realistic stories. Although I think this one's more of a fantasy.
Yeah.
This new one, Anora.
Wow.
But it's let's see here. It says it's a comedy.
Oh.
I wouldn't have guessed that from the trailer, but that's a comedy about a sex worker. And it's sort of like she and one of her clients fall for each other, and he's like, I want you to be mine only. And so she makes a deal with him for an amount, but then I think they actually like maybe fall in love, and they get married, and it's sort of about that relationship and sort of the people around her who don't approve of it. And
Wow.
yeah. Anyways, it looks really good.
Nice. When does that come out?
Oh, I just saw the trailer. The trailer just came out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So,
Cool.
yeah.
Well, that's fun.
And then what was the other one I was thinking about? I saw Lee, which is Kate Winslet in this movie. And this movie was like made years ago and just didn't get a release.
Oh,
I think
wow.
it made some rounds in some festivals, but never got a theatrical release. And it's a true story about a war photographer. Her name was Elizabeth Miller. She was a fashion model who became a war correspondent for Vogue during World War II.
Whoa.
Yeah. Anyways, it looks really, really good. It's got Andy Samberg in it.
What?
And Alexander Skarsgård, who I really, really like. Marion Cotillard is in it. Andrea Riseborough.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, people like her a lot.
Yeah.
And that's all I can really.
Wow.
But yeah, it looks really good. Lee.
Nice.
Lee.
Okay.
Trailer's out now. So
great.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check those out.
That one comes out in like October.
Okay.
So I'm sure it's going to be one of those award contender things. That's why they've waited this long.
Right. Well, that's cool.
Yeah. So how about you? What's new in your world?
What's new? I watched old movies.
Sorry, go ahead. You watch old movies?
Watched some old movies.
Yeah. Like
Wait Until Dark, a really fantastic movie from the 70s,
spooky
60s, something like that. Yeah. It is spooky with Audrey Hepburn and Alan Arkin. And I learned that it was based off of a play.
Oh.
So I want to find the play.
That'd be a cool play.
Yeah.
Do it. Do the
right?
play.
Who's doing that play right now? I don't think anybody.
I don't know.
I've decided no one else is doing it.
No one else is doing it. Just you.
So I'm excited to find that play. And then I finally, for the first time ever, watched American Graffiti.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
With Richard Dreyfuss and Harrison Ford.
Mm-hmm.
And, what's his name from Happy Days? Ron Howard.
Only Ron Howard.
Well, I mean, this was like the thing for Happy Days, right? This was like, Happy Days was like a spinoff of this, wasn't it?
Was it?
I think so. I think it was inspired by American Graffiti.
I can see that.
I don't know if I don't know if he plays the same character.
No.
He doesn't? Do you remember his character's name in American Graffiti?
I don't remember his character's name.
Definitively say.
But it was written and directed by a huge...
Yeah, Mr. THX himself.
Mr. THX himself? What does that mean?
Well, I don't know. You tell me what you think.
Well, I don't know.
Where are you going with it?
It was...
Mr. Star Wars.
Yes.
Yeah, he made a movie called THX 1138.
Oh, I've never heard of that.
Which is where we get the THX. That's where we get that name from.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that at all. I was very excited to learn that he directed and wrote this, and it was like semi-autobiographical.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was fun.
Did you like my THX noise, by the way?
I did.
So there's this. So Harrison Ford did. I was just talking about this with somebody the other day. Harrison Ford did American Graffiti. That's how he met George Lucas.
Yeah.
George Lucas hired him to be a carpenter for some stuff he was doing in his offices. And Harrison Ford, because he's an actor by day and he was a carpenter by night, he didn't want people to know that's what he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
And so he would only do jobs at night. And one night he was running behind and he like worked all night and it was morning, and before he could leave, people were coming into the office for the day and they needed some people to read opposite some actors. So they asked Harrison Ford if he'd be willing to read opposite, names like Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher. I was like, Jodie Fisher. That's not right. Carrie Fisher. So yeah, so he and that's how he got Han Solo.
Wow.
That's the story, at least.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
If only it were that simple.
Yeah, if only you were a carpenter.
Dang it. I'll be hemming someone's dress like, oh no, I need you to read this role. Oh, okay, sure.
Well, so many times it seems like people were just in an office at the right time, like Spielberg being in the office when there's a Jaws script on the desk. Just how do you get in those offices?
Right.
They were much more lax with their security back in those days.
Yeah.
Nowadays, you don't know where offices are. Back then, they used to advertise, "This is so and so office."
Oh, wow.
So
yeah, it's much more private, which is probably safer.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. People be crazy.
Yeah.
So what else? Old movies. Anything else?
Those are the two that I watched.
Cool.
And they were cool.
Yeah, excellent.
I heard about them forever. For some reason, I thought American Graffiti was going to be really lame. And I don't know why.
Yeah.
It just seemed like it was going to be a lame movie. And I watched it and I was delightfully surprised.
Yeah, I can't say I love the movie, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely worth seeing.
Mm-hmm.
I actually thought it was maybe in our bucket. It might be in our bucket.
Yay! I will be happy to watch it again because I'll notice more.
I think it might be in our bucket.
Great.
Because I think it's one of those movies that's like, oh, you should see this movie before you die.
Yeah.
Because just a reminder for everyone, that's kind of what this podcast is about. We never talk about that at the top of our podcast.
Oh, we did.
I just remembered all the stuff that I talked about last episode that I'm supposed to start our podcast with.
Well, perfect. Now's the perfect time to talk about it.
What an awkward segue.
Hey.
So just a reminder that we have a Patreon. We would love it if you would join our Patreon. There's a free tier. You don't have to pay for it.
Yeah.
We don't have to have your money. We like your money, but we don't have to have your money. Join our Patreon. It's patreon.com/VTRTmovies. Yeah. And we love you. Mm-hmm. And we appreciate all the support. If you want to, leave a review or a like, if your podcast platform allows those things, we'd love that as well.
Yes.
Yeah, we're on social medias, Instagram, TikToks, Twitches, X's, all the social medias is
comment, subscribe, rate,
like things.
Just love us.
Won't you love us? We're desperate. I'm sorry.
No.
Yeah. So what were we talking? What brought me? We were talking about something that made me think of that. That we were that the movie we're watching the top movies that you should watch before you die. That's what the podcast is about. Yes, what the podcast is about. That's what I was trying to talk about. So the podcast is sort of supposed to be like, so maybe you're a first time listener. Hello. Mm-hmm. The podcast is sort of supposed to be like a book club for movies. Mm-hmm. So we talk about a movie, and then at the end of the movie, at the end of the podcast, we will draw a new movie out of the bucket so that we have a week to watch the next one, and then come back and listen to us talk to two friends talk about a movie, and maybe you learn something. Sometimes we talk about film techniques, like the Top Gun episode, for example. We talked about how they developed new cameras and all the work that went into the stunt flying and things like that.
Yeah. Sometimes we'll talk about costuming and how it's either wildly inappropriate or spot on.
When she says we'll talk about, she means she will talk about it, because I don't know.
I will mention it.
I don't know, but Alexis is an actress and a seamstress by trade, so she will talk about that. And I will go, so that's what this is about.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess now should we talk about a movie?
Let's dive right in.
Okay. So this week we're talking about Grease.
Grease. It's the word.
I thought the bird was the word.
Oh, whatever. Well, I don't know. Was originally Grease the word, or was it the bird?
I bet it was the bird.
Oh, dang. We'll have to find out. We'll let you know next time. So the wonderful description on IMDb says, good girl Sandy Olsen and greaser Danny Zuko fell in love over the summer. Oh. When they unexpectedly discover they're now in the same high school, will they be able to rekindle their romance? Ooh, dun dun dun.
So, the question that I always ask Alexis.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy this movie?
Yes.
Ask me that question.
Wes, did you enjoy this movie?
Right.
All right.
I've seen it a bunch of times, right? Like I think we both had, and I remember this as being not one of my favorite movies, and actually being more on the I really dislike this film side of things. I appreciated it a little bit more on this watch. I feel like maybe I haven't watched it in a while.
Yeah.
We watched this with Desiree, and I turned to them and I paused the movie. I was like, "Are we watching this for the first time, because we all sort of were reacting to the film the same way.
Yeah.
Which felt like we were watching it for the first time.
Right.
Yeah, it was a weird experience.
Well, because I think we were actually paying attention to it, because I watched it when I was very young, and I've seen it off and on throughout the years, but I don't know if I've ever really just sat down and gave it all of my attention.
Well, it made me wonder if, and I know that the answer to this is yes, but to what extent I was maybe surprised. It made me wonder, did we just for so long just completely overlook things like sexual assault?
Totally.
There's a lot of that kind of stuff in this movie where we just were like, it's just a joke.
Well, I mean, Pretty in Pink.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's some sexual assault in that one too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was it Pretty in Pink?
Yeah.
16 Candles.
No, it's Pretty in Pink. Is it 16 Candles?
16 Candles. I was wrong.
Oh.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wait.
In the back of the car.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's inappropriate, for sure.
There was a lot of just ignoring it, because it wasn't really talked about so much.
Well, yeah. And so with this movie, one of the things that surprised me the most was the dialogue. I don't recall such graphic. I can't believe people show this to. I again turned to Alexis, people show this to their children, right?
Yep.
That's mind blowing.
But when you were a kid, I imagine you watched it when you were a kid. Did you notice any of that?
No, I guess not. But I feel
it went over our heads.
But I feel like kids nowadays know terms that we would not have thought about or known back then.
Yeah.
And I think the real clincher for me was when Rizzo turned around and was like, "This isn't a gangbang," and I was like, "What?"
Yeah. Well, and 2 seconds before, she said something like, "Why don't you? Oh shoot, I wrote it down. Go flog your log."
Yeah, that didn't seem as
really
egregious to me as gangbang.
Gangbang is
it's aggressive,
intense. Yeah.
I will say I thought that Rizzo has the best lines, and she has a couple of double entendres that I thought were A+ writing. Just my favorite was the wiener one,
right?
Where they say go bite a wiener, and she says with relish,
and
I thought, what a great double entendre.
That's so clever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When I was a kid, I would have thought, she just uses relish. I'll put relish on it.
Right.
Yeah. No. With relish.
They sneak that stuff in so that it's kind of like adding adult jokes into cartoons.
Sure.
So that the adults can also get a kick out of it.
Yeah, with some of the double entendres, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But some of the things that they said were just like,
"Oh yeah,
did you put up a fight?"
Mm-hmm. Well, when Danny and his friends are on the bleachers before he starts singing "Summer Lovin'," one of the twerpy little greaser dudes is laying down on the bleachers. Putz is looking up one of the skirts, and instead of the other guys laughing, they reprimand him for doing that.
Yeah.
Which was good. It wasn't great that Putz was doing that, but I guess there's some sort of respect.
Respect is it's a liberal use of the word respect.
Yeah. Ow.
Okay, so my argument would be that they were quote unquote reprimanding him.
Okay.
For the appearance of reprimanding him in front of the girls.
Oh, that's fair.
We're good guys. We are the ones you should look up your dress.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Jeez. Yeah.
And that's very much the vibe of this movie, this whole film.
Yeah.
All right, give me your notes.
Give me your notes. I think that Rizzo is unnecessarily mean. I just think she is.
So she's a bit of a Regina George. Not popular, but
yeah.
But
just mean for the sake of being mean. Yeah. Also, Sandy made it as a cheerleader, and she can't do a cartwheel.
Yeah, I noticed that.
That was...
she became a cheerleader fast, too.
She did.
Although there's no real time, like understanding time in this is difficult.
Yeah, because the whole movie spans across the whole school year.
And we got no Halloween. We got no Christmas.
Right?
We got no Easter.
Oh,
We got no winter. Although California winter.
California. Also, did you notice that all of the California actors have New York and East Coast accents?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this like takes place originally on the East Coast.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's a play. It was a play before this,
yes,
right?
yes.
And it takes place on the East Coast. Speaking of the play before this, John Travolta played Duty in the play. He was one of the little minions.
Duty.
Yeah.
You know who originated the role of Danny Zuko?
Who?
Barry Bostwick.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Barry Bostwick.
I do too.
Yeah, he's great.
Because Danny Zuko was initially like a nerdy dude.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Well, that's really surprising.
Right?
But yeah, so Sandy was originally not Sandy Olsen. She was like something like Sandy Dombrowski or something.
Okay.
Like that. So yeah, they were all kind of East Coasty.
Interesting.
Thing.
Okay.
Yeah. And rather than trying to have Olivia Newton-John try to be an American, they just were like, let's just lean into it. Let it be natural.
Of course.
Which is probably the right way to go.
Yeah, definitely. I wrote down Rizzo shows Sandy what Danny is really like after the bonfire.
Yeah.
And
So
at
that's
the
the
same
question.
time, it's like, does she show Sandy what Danny is like, or does she show Danny that he's being a two-faced schmuck?
Or is she showing Sandy that Danny will stop being who he truly is around his buddies?
Oh.
Right?
Mhm.
Like, I don't think it's that Danny's actually a dick.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a dick, but he's not like the way he is after the bonfire.
Yeah.
Because there was a question we sort of had at the end of the film, right?
Mhm.
Like, does Danny change himself for her, or does he just accept himself for figure out who he really is?
Yeah.
And I sort of lean towards he changes himself for her.
Yeah.
Because I like that more.
Yeah.
But
He even says it.
I would do anything.
Yeah.
Like, I would change myself.
Yep. They
Yeah.
sort of changed themselves for each other,
Yeah.
which in the end wasn't necessary at all.
Well,
Was it?
it might play into the conspiracy theory that's out there about this film, but we'll get to that. I'm sure you're either going to talk about it, or if you don't, I'll bring it up at the end. But don't
Please.
worry, folks. We will talk about you know what.
I'm going to make a note at the bottom. Conspiracy theory.
It's more like a fan theory, but yeah.
Great. Awesome. I made a note here because you told me to. Elvis.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about a couple things before we get to Elvis.
Okay, great.
But Elvis's thing. They did reference Elvis
Yep.
in one of the songs, the Sandra Dee song.
Yes.
Which Sandra Dee, I had a note about Sandra Dee, and I guess I just got to find my note here. I'm sorry. So it's a reference to Sandra Dee and Troy Donahue,
Yes.
who both appeared in An Imitation of Life, which is my mother's favorite film of all time, which is a movie that's been remade. But it's that movie came out the same year that they all graduate. So this movie takes place over 1958, 1959.
Okay.
So that's sort of the identifier to when this takes place and sort of the popularity of those actors.
Yeah.
But the Elvis thing I wanted to bring up, they wanted Elvis to be the angel,
Oh.
and he turned it down.
Yeah.
When did he die? Must have been
70s.
not long after this, right? Because this would have been filmed in 1977.
Yeah.
Or maybe they wanted him, and then, I don't know. My understanding is he didn't want to do it.
He passed in 1977.
So when they were making this movie, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was the biggest film of 1978.
Wow.
Yeah. However, it never reached number one.
What?
It made more money because of its lifespan.
Yeah.
But it was never like the number one movie
Wow.
for the weekend or whatever,
That's wild.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Star Wars
Oh.
would have been the year before, but still out because movies stayed out in theater for
A
year.
Considerably longer than
Yeah.
they do now.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's been out for a month.
I actually think the record ended up being set in 1983 with a little film about an alien. That movie stayed in the theaters for over a year.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyways,
To
yeah.
see that in the theaters.
Oh, it's great. It's great in the theater.
Wow, interesting.
Okay, what you get? I did have a note about Stockard Channing.
Oh, go ahead.
And her hickeys.
And her hickeys.
The hickeys were real.
Were they real?
They were real, and Jeff Conaway insisted on doing them himself.
What a jerk.
I guess. I think he was like a bit of a
chauvinist.
No, I think he was,
Sorry.
a bit of a cad. I think he was like slept around on the set kind of thing. Like I think Patty Simcox, Patty,
the popular girl, or the one who wanted to be like class president or something.
Treasurer,
yeah,
vice treasurer.
Hi guys.
Yeah,
yeah.
I love her. I think she's great.
She
they were
is
mean
great.
to her for no reason.
They were mean to her for
lovely.
no reason. It's because she was a goody two shoes.
Be nicer to people.
Yeah.
I think they hooked up on set.
Okay.
It was salacious rumors, but you know, I'm not one above spreading them on our show. But Stockard Channing says that he put the hickeys on her.
I'm sure.
Himself. So.
Blah. Yeah. No thanks.
Not bad.
How did all these kids get booze? They all always had booze. Was it just that much easier in the 50s to get alcohol?
I think so. I think people were like, when I was their age, I used to drink, so here you go, kid.
Oh my gosh. I was a good kid. I didn't drink in high school, so I don't even know how the people that had the parties got the alcohol. So
yeah.
Lost on me. Hopelessly Devoted to You. That song is the most High School Emotion song ever, because she's like, just, oh, I'm gonna love you forever, and we're gonna be, I love you, you're the best, blah, blah, blah. I wrote, did he hurt you? Yes. Oh, but he's so great, you know?
Well, you know, that song was filmed and recorded after they finished production on this film.
Really?
Yeah, they decided they needed something that was for her alone. And it ended up being the only thing that got them an Academy Award nomination.
Stop it.
Yeah. Didn't win, but it got a nomination.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a great song.
Yeah, it's a good song. They're all pretty good songs.
Yeah.
It's funny, I was watching, I was kind of going, are all these songs original to this?
Probably.
But the hand jive must not be, right? Because that was a real...
No, the hand jive was...
This was the song for the hand jive, new to the song, or was it existing? So there's that, and then there's the song at the very end that we go together. Is that specifically written for like those were the two that because a lot of those lyrics like the shabam whatever
shebop shewada bippity boom.
Yeah, you were singing it.
Yeah, I know all of the lyrics to that song.
So I was sort of like wondering, like those feel like lyrics that existed somewhere else, but that was
like
maybe,
the womp boppa loo boppa wop bamboo.
That might be.
That was from Tutti Frutti.
Yeah, well, that part was specifically, but yeah, I sort of wondered if it was just pieces of things, or just it was intentionally sounding like stuff, or if they actually were written for this. But
that is a good question.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either.
I do know that the Grease Lightning song, was not Danny Zuko's song. It was Kanicki's song. And off hours, John Travolta lobbied for them to turn it into Danny Zuko's song. What? So they asked Jeff Conaway if he would be willing to give it up, and he didn't want to, but he eventually did. I feel a little bad. And then when we were watching it, I was thinking about it as his song. I was like, oh, this would have been a good number for his character, but it might not have been as popular after the fact.
Yeah.
You know, because this movie has a weird cult following, to be honest with you.
It does. It really does.
Yeah. It's really strange. The people who are fans of this movie are like Star Wars fans. Like, they are fans of this, like, maybe not as bad as Star Wars fans, because Star Wars fans, like, they know all the lore of the Jedi.
Hey.
But I don't know that anybody really knows Danny Zuko's
They
story.
might.
They might.
They might.
If you know Danny Zuko's backstory, let us know.
Tell us.
Send us your hateful ransom letters. Oh, Walt's being fed. We were like, what is that noise? Walt has an automatic feeder, and he's being fed right now. And we're going to hear Desi's voice in a second. Because it's got a... I think. Or not. Okay, cool.
Okay.
So what's your next note?
My next note is how interesting that they could use their shop class to fix up Kanicki's crap car.
And the shop teacher
Is
would...
a female.
Well, and the shop teacher would happily endorse a dangerous bet.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the Thunder Road scene. Now, we had talked about Cha-Cha earlier in the film. We were watching, and we were like, "How old is she?" And you were like, "She's like 50."
I said she was 45.
I was like, "That's harsh."
True, she was 30.
and I knew she wasn't that old, because if you notice in the Thunder Road scene, she's like leaning up against the car a lot.
Yeah.
She was in excruciating pain because she was undergoing an ectopic pregnancy at the time.
Oh my God.
Right?
That's horrible.
Yeah, it's awful. But also an interesting fact.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I feel so bad for her.
Yeah. But what a trooper, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, she should have gone to the hospital, but did they know? Anyway, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Also, you can be pregnant when you're 45.
I'm telling you, you said 50. And I was like, you could be pregnant when you're 50, but it's unlikely. I'm telling you, you said 50. And I was like, wow, that was rough.
They all look so much older.
They all should have been playing the teachers in the...
This is true. I think like the only one who was even close to high school age was Marty. She was 21.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone else was older.
Yeah. I got a better appreciation for this film watching it now, but I think I'm going to give credit to the Mean Girls movie, the new Mean Girls movie.
Oh. Because
I was like, this is how you shoot like a high school musical movie. It was really impressive, actually, that from a technical perspective, all the like crane shots and the way they framed things, and they had foresight to know like, oh, we're going to do like superimpose things here, and the set design, and just, it was, I have a better appreciation for Grease having watched it today.
Wow. Huh.
You didn't think I was going to say that, did you?
I did not.
Ha! So I got to keep you on your toes, Alexis.
Delightfully surprised.
I know, they didn't say I was a fan of the movie. I just said I have a better appreciation for it. I thought it was a well-made film.
You know what I was really surprised about that I never noticed in previous viewings of this movie? I was going to guess. Oh, go ahead. You want to guess?
That they've never said the word grease anywhere in the film.
They do say grease.
They say grease lightning. Greased lightning.
Oh.
With an ED.
Okay.
They never say the word grease.
Huh.
I mean, the opening song.
But that doesn't count. That doesn't count at all.
Yeah. Yeah. I surprised you now. Again. Oh, wait, I surprised you again. Sorry. I'm just so excited to put one over. Sorry, go ahead. What surprised you?
Well, I was really surprised that the coach really wanted to help Danny find his thing.
Yeah.
Like, he never makes fun of him for not knowing how to play basketball, or not knowing how to do wrestling, not knowing how to play baseball. He's like, he really wanted to help Danny. I've never noticed that before, ever.
Yeah.
I was like, as a kid, I'm like, oh, cool, here's the running part.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it was just refreshing that he really wanted to help him out and show him that there's more that he can do with his life.
And Danny on this watch for me was less one-dimensional than I remembered him to be.
Yeah.
And I think the moment that hit me was pretty early in the film, was after the bonfire, when Rizzo surprises them.
Yeah.
And the look that he gives Rizzo after Sandy walks away I was like, I've never noticed that depth to Danny Zuko before.
Yeah.
So good on John Travolta, because he's sort of like kind of talked about in maybe a jokey way as an actor.
Yeah.
And, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. That was really lovely.
Yeah.
My next note is about the hand jive during the dance.
Yeah.
I loved that scene when I was a kid. like, I remember teaching myself how to do the hand jive and showing my mom, and I was so excited. And she's like, "Yep, that's what they did back then." And I was so excited, and it took a lot to not start doing the hand jive. Just,
I would have been okay. I wouldn't have judged you too much.
But during the dance, why does Cha-Cha not get disqualified for showing her underwear the entire time?
Yeah.
Everyone else is getting disqualified for
the
littlest thing.
Yeah.
The chick who wanted to be the secretary, she got disqualified because someone lifted her whole skirt up.
Frenchie?
No. The goody two shoes.
Oh.
Jan.
Oh.
Shoot.
Yeah. Patty.
Yeah.
Patty Simcox or something like that. Yeah. Yeah. Well.
Meh.
I don't know.
One person gets disqualified for showing their underwear, but Cha-Cha doesn't. She gets to dance with Danny and win the prize and all that.
Yeah. Well, there is something I thought was interesting about that scene, this dance competition thing that Danny wins. This is the second of 3 times that John Travolta wins a dance contest in a movie. Saturday Night Fever.
Yes.
This.
Yes.
Pulp Fiction. Right? He wins the contest in Pulp Fiction. He comes home with the trophy.
That's right.
You don't get to see him win it.
Yeah.
But you see him dance and you see him with the trophy later. Well, you see him and Mia with the trophy later.
Right. Huh.
Yeah. Weird.
Yeah. It's like in his clause. Every 10 years, I must have a dance off. Something like that. Oh. So. Oh. While we were watching this, and I heard this line for the first time ever, that Marty says, "I found Fontaine trying to put an aspirin in my Coke."
Yeah.
And I turn to you and I go, "Well, what does an aspirin do in Coke?"
And I turned and looked at you with some pity.
I don't think that was an aspirin. Oh, right. I have still a little bit of naivete in me.
Yeah.
I didn't even think.
So here's the question.
Yeah.
Here's the question. So again, we were talking about like double entendres and things that like a joke for an adult. Is that supposed to be a joke?
I don't know.
I think it's supposed to be a joke.
Is it supposed to be funny?
I think so.
Because guys just used to put one over on women and that was funny?
Yeah, I'm telling you, they have a line in like the second song about, did she put up a fight?
Yeah. Yeah, that's in Summer Lovin'.
You put that aspirin in the Coke so she doesn't put up a fight. Right?
History sucks. Oh my God.
Get a shirt that says history sucks with like 5 U's.
Gosh, I forget how much the world has changed.
Yeah.
So much.
Yeah. Well, and there's a whole song in the movie about abortion. There's a song specifically all about abortion. I'm about to rock your world with this, apparently. There are worse things I could do.
Oh my God. What?
That's the worst thing that she could do.
So she lied that she wasn't pregnant?
Well, no, I think the idea is so like she basically tells Sandy through dialogue, through like a little cheeky dialogue, that if she has a baby, that she'll take care. If she's pregnant, she'll take care of the baby.
Uh-huh.
And so she's already sort of resigned to this idea that I'm going to have a child. Mm-hmm. And so she laments this song about there are worse things that I could do. And what she's telling us is the worst thing that she could do is, rather than have the baby, is she could abort the baby. Yeah.
That
Told you.
I never considered. I thought that being pregnant, like there were worse things than being pregnant. That's how I always.
Well, I think that's sort of like the palette the palatable thing that you're
Yeah.
sort of, but the again, the double entendre, the hidden meaning behind it is that the worst thing that she could actually do, and that's what she's saying the whole time, is she's sort of lamenting that I could do this other thing.
Whoa. Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't expect me to come prepared, did you? Did you, Alexis?
No. Didn't. Oh my God. I just have 2 more notes.
Just 2 more notes.
Just 2 more notes.
Okay.
The graduation carnival.
Yes.
That is the graduation carnival, and where John Travolta ran around the track. That is at John Marshall High School in Los Feliz.
Okay.
I used to live right up the hill from it, so I would drive past it every day, and I'd be like, "Oh, that's John Travolta was over there.
Oh, maybe the Ferris wheel.
All of them were right there." And like they pan back, and I'm like, "I know where that house is."
You're driving by and you're like, "We come together."
But also something that I always just accepted, but this time I was like, what the hell? Why does the car go flying away? Is this Chitty Chitty Bang Bang?
Oh, I'm glad that you brought that up.
Okay.
We're getting into conspiracy theory.
Perfect. That was the next thing, was conspiracy theory.
Let me hit some of my other
go for
notes,
it.
if I have any other notes
Yeah.
or factoids here. So this movie is sort of not a spoof so much, but it was sort of supposed to be the anti-musical musical. So it was like Hair had come prior to this, and so they made another Hair reference, and the spoof of this was Hairspray, right? So it was like, again, another Hair thing. So that was
Huh.
where this kind of all came from.
Okay.
And so the end of the movie, we talked about like, oh, you just got to change yourself for the guy or whatever. That was sort of supposed to pull the rug out from underneath the audience, because the idea, what they're expecting is that the greaser guy has changed himself for the girl and has gone good guy, but really it's the girl has gone bad.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of that reference there. There is a theory that I sort of subscribe to, that at the beginning of the movie, we see them playing on the beach, and then we hear Summer Lovin', and they talk about how they met and how did they meet
They met on the beach. At
and what happened. How did they meet?
what?
How did they meet on the beach? What
I don't-
happened? What happens in the song? You got to run through the song through your head,
Splash in the sand.
right? And she had a cramp,
Uh-huh.
and then he goes and saves her life.
Yeah.
The theory is that she has been dying the entire film. And the reason they drive up into the clouds is because she's finally letting go and dying and ascending to heaven at the end of the film.
Wait, then is the whole thing a fever dream?
The whole thing is her dying.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Whoa.
But I'm going to one up the conspiracy theory people, because I've not heard this.
Oh, okay.
I've not heard this. Maybe other people have said it, but I personally have not heard it. I don't think it's her. I think it's Danny. I think it's Danny, and it's Danny's regrets over being the bad guy his whole life and sort of putting on this facade, and that he's finally getting these things after like realizing who he really is and what the potential that he really had. Because she talks about, like, in the song, he was just like showing off. And I think he was showing off in front of this girl, did a fucking backflip off the rocks at Leo Carrillo Beach. And that's where I filmed this. And died in the water and drowned. And he's the one who's actually dying.
Oh, I would totally believe that, because aside from Frenchie, he's the only one that has a hallucinatory dance scene, which is with the greased lightning.
I'm telling you.
And
he wins the dance contest, like all of these things.
he wins the drag race, which should not have happened.
He wins the girl.
Oh my god.
That's my theory.
And that would be why, I mean, it would make more sense as to why Frenchie decides to drop out of high school, and she dyes her hair pink, and she dyes her hair all these different colors, and oh my god.
Do you subscribe to the theory now?
I do.
Yeah.
I like that one.
You with me? You with me?
Yes,
Danny?
that is the only reason why his girlfriend, who was supposed to go back to Australia, suddenly stays.
Yeah. Everything works out. Yeah. I mean, you could argue that they're both dying, right? And they both ascend to heaven or whatever.
Sure.
Or like they get pulled out. Like he goes to save her from her cramp and they get pulled out by like a riptide or whatever. I don't buy it. It's Danny. Danny's dead.
I don't buy it. Whoa. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've never shared that theory with anybody.
That's great.
It's the first time.
Well, and I noticed, I wish I could remember the name of the movie, but at the very beginning, when there's the cartoon showing like through Grease is the word.
The Bee Gees song?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a cartoon segment where they do a close-up on a movie theater, and it's a Debbie Reynolds film. Mm. And when Frenchie is talking about like, what is she talking about? It's like around the whole beauty school dropout thing, and she mentions how she just had this wild dream, just like Debbie Reynolds in that movie. Mm-hmm. And
weird coincidence.
It is.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's why they put that in the beginning, was because like she was going to reference it, and so let's throw that in there. And now I want to watch that Debbie Reynolds movie to see like, are there like dream sequences like that?
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Do you know the animator Ralph Bakshi?
I don't.
He did like Fritz the Cat. Fritz the Cat's not Felix the Cat. Fritz the Cat, which is like an adult animated. He did like some animated stuff in the 70s, but he actually originally had the rights to do this, but wanted to do an all animated film, and they didn't want that. No. And so he ended up going off and doing another movie that came out the same year, all animated, Lord of the Rings.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
Since you brought up the animation.
Yeah. No, that's cool.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting.
That is really neat.
Yeah.
I will say the animation for the beginning, some of them were not very...
Yeah, I don't know who did it. I don't know if he did the opening.
Yeah. It didn't look like his style, if you're saying that he did the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Well, he had some... You should see Fritz the Cat. It's wild.
Oh, okay. I'm just saying, like, Stockard Channing's drawing.
Oh, yeah. Like,
wasn't that
caricature
great.
Is rough.
The only one that actually looked like them was John Travolta.
Yeah.
Because he has such specific facial structure.
Yeah. Got that chin.
Yeah. The butt chin.
Yeah. All right.
No shade.
Okay.
Love a good butt chin.
Love a good butt chin. There's our next shirt. Their history sucks.
Do you think that this is a movie that everyone should see before they die?
Why not?
Yeah.
It's it's really well made musical. If you hate musicals, probably not. But it's if you're a movie person, I feel like you should be open to anything that's made well. And I actually think that, especially for this era, and I'm gonna guess it probably didn't have like a massive budget.
Yeah.
It's made really well. The music is pretty fun. Mm-hmm. I still have trouble getting over the ages of the people. It bothers me. And it's kind of like, I don't know, in some places a little cheesier than I prefer. And there's stuff I don't care about. Like, I don't care about the car race. You know, I don't even really care about the National Bandstand, but it's a good catalyst for Danny and Sandy. But I don't care about it very much. But yeah, I mean, the movie's made well.
Yeah. I will say, after watching American Graffiti, I have more of an understanding of how huge cars were in the 50s. Mm-hmm. It was such a thing.
Yeah.
And they would just drive up and down the streets.
Oh, yeah.
And talk to strangers.
Go cruising.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's just not something that happens now.
No.
And...
No, because nowadays parents are like, get to where you're going. Yeah. Let me know you got there safely.
Yeah.
Don't go anywhere else.
Yeah. There was a little bit more freedom.
Oh, I mean,
for
even
kids.
When I was a kid, I'm sure for you too, well, maybe, I think you were telling me no. But
no,
I think we've had
I'm an only child. I was not allowed to do a lot.
Yeah, it was very much like, go out and don't come back until the sun's setting, until the streetlights turn on, kind of a thing. Yeah, I mean, go out and play. Get out from under my feet. Go out and play. A lot of that.
Wow.
So, yeah, I mean, And that was just the 80s and
Yeah.
90s.
Huh.
Less in the 90s, but still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was born around the time when like children were being kidnapped. And so my mom was terrified that someone was going to steal me. So
We had a lot of like, when I was a kid in the early 80s, like safety videos and cassette tapes. You would listen to cassette tapes with songs that were about safety and stuff, about not getting in strangers' cars and stuff. Yeah. I mean, we've done that for decades and decades and decades.
Huh.
We've had safety type things like that.
yeah.
I mean, they were, back in the day, they were about getting under your desk in case of a nuclear explosion.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Because that makes sense.
Yeah.
I had the stranger danger and don't take candy from a stranger.
I mean, we had some of the same stuff. Yeah.
Now I'm just like, I think as an adult, I need a don't follow someone with a puppy to a van.
Yeah. I think when I was a kid, we bought something called Safety Kids. I was like, safety kids, safety kids. I was really young though. And it was like songs and stuff about
Being safe.
being a safe kid.
That's clever.
Yeah. My parents took care of me.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's very good.
But they also were like, get out.
We need our alone time. I get that.
I think it was more like quiet. We just needed to be quiet for a minute.
I feel that.
But the summertime especially, it was like, go out,
Yeah.
go play, get on your bike, go find your friends,
Yeah.
go
Play
hang out
outside.
at their house,
Yeah. Yeah.
bother their parents. All right. All right. That's all I have to say about Grease. It was fine.
It's the word.
It was fine. See it if you haven't seen it.
You should see it.
If you've seen it, you're fine. You don't have to watch it again.
If you've seen it and you haven't seen it in a long time, watch it again
You're
because
going to be shocked.
you were going to be so surprised.
Yeah.
It's not what you remembered.
It's going to horrify you.
It's just not.
And parents, if you're thinking about showing this to your kids, don't.
No. Mm-mm. They can wait.
So this movie was PG when it came out because there was no PG-13. When they re-released it for the 20th anniversary, they gave it a new rating. Re-rated it for PG-13.
Yeah,
More appropriate.
definitely.
It's not a rated R film for sure.
Mm-mm.
There's no nudity,
No.
right?
There's no nudity.
No nudity.
There's no real swearing.
Yeah, not really. No, it's
just
1950s swearing, which is
Yeah.
we don't
No.
consider real swearing
Yeah.
anymore. There's definitely adult talk, like adult
yes.
language
Yes.
in it for sure,
Mm-hmm.
i.e. gangbang.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. So anyways, all right. Anything else you want to add?
No.
I want to do a shout out
Oh yeah.
for one of our patrons,
Mhm.
Dre44, also known as D. Hi, thanks for being a patron. Appreciate it. And I'm glad this was the episode that I got to do the shout out for you.
Yay. Thanks, Dee.
Yay. All right. We got to draw a movie.
Oh yeah.
I'll do this one. I'm going to draw this movie.
What's it gonna be?
Try to make
That
this.
was good.
Did you hear me trying to do
Yeah.
that?
20th Century Fox.
Yeah, that's right. It is UHF. Weird Al's UHF.
Yes.
I'm very excited. I saw that. So it's funny, Grease was a movie that you watched a bunch when you were a kid.
Yeah.
This would have been the movie. This would have been my Grease.
No way.
Yeah, this is the movie. I saw this movie like 5 or 6 times in the theater. I watched the shit out of it when I could have a VHS. I mean, it was just, I was a big Weird Al fan. Still a Weird Al fan.
Oh yeah.
And this was like, I'm not as into music as I am into movies. Movies way, 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 way more. And I'm gesturing with my hands wildly that no one can see that except for Alexis. And so this is like right up my alley because it's like Weird Al, but
Yes.
not just music. It's movies and TV shows now. So it's pretty great.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah. You've never seen it, right?
Never.
Yeah. I knew that putting this thing in there. I'm really excited for you. I'm really, really excited for you. It's probably bad. Poorly made. It's probably poorly made. Let's put it that way. But it's Weird Al, so it's fun.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's great.
And
I'm all about Weird Al.
an actor who's been kind of canceled. Sort of.
Oh.
There's no real such thing as canceling, but we said that before on our podcast. But Michael Richards is in this as well.
Oh, right.
But it's also got like Emo Phillips and I don't know a bunch of other people.
I'm so excited.
I think Victoria Jackson's in it though, when she's a little like nowadays too. I think she's like, I'm like one of those don't vaccinate kind of people. Anyways, yeah, we'll leave it there. Until next time, everyone. Thank you for being here. Love you all. Bon cinema.